Your burning questions answered. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Bruno, and if we haven't chatted on the phone before, I'm a part of the customer success team here at 2020. I've been with 2020 for 4 years, and today I'm excited to share with you a few new things as well as answering some of your most asked questions. This is the plan for my presentation. We're going to jump into 2020 Design Live and walk through some of the most frequently asked questions we receive here in support. Some are quick time savers, while others simply help you offer the best design solutions for your clients. All right, so let's jump right in. How to modify your program interface. All right, so let's get into the program here. Okay, so if you lose a box or if they simply get removed, before in version 11, we had to go ahead and manage to manually put everything back to normal. So I hope everyone here is using version 12 because this was tedious before, but now I'm happy to say that we removed all the headache out of it. Now, simply by going to the View tab, you can click on Screen Preset. And if we go ahead and click Initial, this will change and put all the boxes docked for you. So Initial is the scheme that you'll see when you first install version 12. If you would like to go back to your version 11 days, then we can go right back to Screen Preset and go ahead and click on Classic. And that will bring everything back to normal. Perfect. Importing a texture into 2020 Design Live. All right, importing your own textures or photos into the program is a part of the magic that is 2020 Design. It's a simple process that could make a design you're creating feel very personal to your client. You can import your own photographs you've taken or pictures you've saved from the internet. So let's go ahead and do that. I've imported a floor texture into the program. So I'm going to start by going to the floor texture. All right, so we would open up a perspective, and then we can click on Textures and Display Settings, and I'll click on the Browse Texture button here for the floor. Perfect. So once we get the textures window up, we can head over to the user texture library at the top. And now this will become your catalog of textures that you import into the program. So anytime you start a new design, you can simply come to this location and all the textures that you've previously placed will still be there. Perfect. So this is the floor texture that I have imported into the program. I found this on Google by typing in hardwood floor seamless texture. From there, I right-clicked the image I liked, and I clicked on Save As to save it to the computer. So now once you have a texture and you placed it on the computer, how can we bring it into the program? Well, I'll show you how we can do that. I'll go ahead and delete the image I've imported, and we're going to go ahead and do that process together. So to import a texture, we can click on this folder with a plus sign right over here, and it'll bring us to our computer folders. So I have created a folder for my textures to keep all my textures in one place, but that's in my Pictures folder. So all you have to do is just find where you've saved the image and go ahead and give it a click and click Open. Perfect. So when importing a texture into the program, the program is going to ask you, is it intended for a normal sized item or is it intended for a large item? So normal would be something on the smaller side. So let's say, a metal texture for a blender, or a photo for a photo frame if you have a photograph you want to import, something of the sort like that. Large would be for larger items, so countertops, floors, walls, things of that nature. So seeing as I'm importing a floor texture, I'm going to go ahead and click on Large, and I'll click OK. Perfect. So now our image has been imported into the program. So let's go ahead and click OK and see what we get. So right off the bat, we could see there's something wrong. The texture is just a little too small and we're not getting the detail we want out of it. So let's go right back and see how we can change that. So we'll go back to the user texture library and let's click on the image. So here, if we look at the right side, here we'll see that there's actually a size associated with the image. So the texture is repeating itself every 12 inches in width and 7 inches in height. So what I normally tell my customers in support is take a look at the image and how big do you think that image would be in real life? So just after some basic guesstimation, I'm going to go ahead and put 50 for height and press enter. And the width will automatically be applied to follow the ratio of the image. So now with the new measurement, let's go ahead and click OK. And now we see the texture shows up exactly the way we want. Fantastic. So that's how we can import a texture into the program and at the same time assign it to a floor. So let's get out of this and head back to the presentation. All right, how to show a scenery through multiple windows. To have a background texture show up in one window is easy, but how do we get the same texture to show up across multiple windows? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I see we already have one window here. I'll go ahead and add 2 more windows on this side. All right, so I'll just make this 50. Looking good. And let's place it just about here and 50 in width as well. Fantastic. All right, so seeing as we have one, I'll just go ahead and duplicate for the other. Great. All right. So how do we put a scenery in one window? Well, how we can do that is by going to the attributes of the one window. And we'll wait for that to come up. Perfect. So we can head over to the Variables tab. And if we go to the bottom, we should see here Scenery Texture. So I'll go ahead and click on the texture box associated with it. And so once we get here, we can go ahead and look for a background texture through the program. That's completely fine. You're encouraged to do so. However, I've imported a background texture for this very exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and select on that image and I'll click OK. Perfect. So now this is the result we get. Not bad at all. But let's take a look at what we can get with 2 windows. So I'll hit apply. OK. Perfect. All right. Now, how do we do it for 2 windows? Well, what we can do is head over to the room catalog. Perfect. I'll double click on Windows and then double click on Scenery. And I'll grab the scenery item and I'll drag it and drop it just behind the windows. Perfect. So now it's asking me to assign a texture to this scenery item. So I'll go ahead and click on the texture box. And I'll head right back over to the user texture library and I'll select the same image I've imported. Click OK and OK. Perfect. So now we see that the item is following my mouse. The first click would be to place it. Now the second click is how long do we want it to be. So I'll go ahead and say about, here is perfect. Great. So automatically I know my walls are at 96 inches tall. I don't know how big this image is. So I'm going to go directly into the attributes and take a look at that. All right. So it says here that it's at 150. 150 is good. But if I leave it at that, I might get some chopped off information that I'm not going to see in the windows. So I'm going to make this a little shorter. I'll put it at 100 and hit apply. I know the image looks a little squashed, but don't worry, bear with me. If I go into the perspective right now, let's see what we get. All right. So the picture on the left looks good. It's not bad. It looks more like a poster than a background. The one on the right, though, it looks like there's a story. It looks like there's something happening in that backyard. So that's good. The only thing I'm not happy with is that we're not getting enough detail out of the windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just go around, right-click on the scenery itself, and I'll click up, down. I'm just going to bring it just a little higher, just so I can get a little bit more of that grass and horizon line. So let's say about there, looks good. Let's go around and take a look at what we got. Okay, here, I'll just reopen it. Now that looks good. We have some grass, we have the water in the back with the benches and the tree. Fantastic. That's how we can show a texture through multiple windows. So let's get out of here and let's go back to the presentation. How to create a waterfall countertop. 2 easy ways to accomplish this. All right, perfect. Let's get to the program. And before we start, I'll just go ahead and make a nice little island for myself. And right here looks good. Perfect. And let's add 2 more. Fantastic. We'll bring it right over here. Okay. So now I'll go to the items, countertops and trims, and I'll add some countertops. Perfect. Okay. So the first method of being able to apply a waterfall countertop is if you have a countertop catalog installed into your program, then most of them actually provide panels that will create that waterfall countertop. So in my case here, I'm going to head over to the Cambria catalog that I've installed. If I could find it. Here it is. Perfect. And I'll double click on panels. And let's bring one of those panels in. All right. Perfect. So just by looking at it, I can already tell that the panel I've brought into the program is not the exact size I need. So I'm going to go to the Annotations tab. I'm going to click on Line to Line and get some basic dimensions here just to see what I need. And now I'll dimension out the overhang. That's 1 inch. Fantastic. So I know now that this panel needs to be 1 inch thick and 26 inches deep. So we'll go into the attributes for this panel. And I'll put in those exact parameters. So 1 inch for width and 26 inches for depth. Perfect. So now I can grab the item and just drop it in there. Perfect. So I'm not going to go ahead and create the same panel again. I can copy it by doing Control-C and then paste it by clicking Control-V. And there we go. Perfect. Now let's take a look at the perspective. And there we go. We have our waterfall countertop. Also, I want to mention you can always go into the attributes for these countertops and change the textures. You can also import your own textures and apply those textures to these items. Awesome. So now let's do the second method. I'll just remove these panels here along with dimensions. Fantastic. All right, so now the second method. I'll be honest with you, I use this method 95% of the time. It's just super easy and you don't need any special catalogs for it. So we can head over to the Annotations tab and we can click on the rectangle tool here. So I'll just click on that. I'll click once on the floor plan to start drawing and a second time to stop. Fantastic. So here's my very basic rectangle shape. I'm going to drag it just above and align the 2 left corners up with the rectangle shape and the countertop. Perfect. Now all I'm going to do is modify this rectangle shape so it's the exact overhang for the waterfall countertop. So that looks about perfect to me. Once you have your shape, you can right-click it and click on Make 3D. And then double-click Make 3D here, 3D shape. Perfect. All right. So I know whenever we create a 3D item, the item is only going to have the height of about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go directly into the attributes. And I'm going to make this 34.5. And I'll click Apply. And OK. Perfect. So again, we've already made one. I don't need to create it again. I'll press Control-C and Control-V to paste it. And now let's take a look at the perspective again. Perfect. And here we have it, a waterfall countertop. Alrighty, back to the presentation. How to save a floor plan and elevations to PDF. Okay, so let's go back to the program. I'll create some elevations here. So we have our floor plan at the bottom. We have 2 elevations at the top over here. Perfect. So to create some PDFs, we'll head up to the top left, click on File. We'll click on Print and Print Preview. Okay. Now in the printer name here, all you have to do is select a PDF writer. So if you're on Windows 10, then you automatically have Microsoft Print to PDF. If you have your own PDF writer installed, then by all means, please go ahead and use that. If you're on an older version of Windows, you may not have a PDF writer. So what I suggest is head over to Google and type in Qt PDF Writer download. You can go ahead and download it from Google, install it. Once it's installed, you'll then see it in this list. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And now, because I have more than one thing I would like to print out to PDF, I'll click on Selection and click the Browse button. And here, we can select what we would like to have printed. So both elevations and the All tab, because that's the tab we're working on here on the floor plan. And I'll click OK and OK. Then this looks about right. Great. So I'll click on Print. And now I'm just going to be waiting for a message from Qt PDF to save. And here it came up on the other page. Perfect. So all we have to do now is just select the location we would like to save the files to, type in a name for these PDF files, and click Save, and those PDFs will then be created for you. Perfect. All right. Where to download the program and catalogs. All right, so you'll need to have a 2020 Cloud account created to access My Account on 2020spaces.com. We recently updated our My Account section of the website to make it even easier for you to find things like software updates and catalogs. There are 2 ways of accessing our 2020 Cloud account, through the program or by going to 2020spaces.com. At the top right of the site, you can hover over the Sign In and click on My 2020 Cloud Account. Then, if we have an account, we can sign in here. If you do not yet have an account, you can create one by clicking on the Create Account button and filling out the form. When you sign in, 2020 Spaces will take you to your account. From here, you can access loads of information, including new versions of the program and catalog updates we have to offer. All we have to do is click on Downloads and Catalogs on the left portion of our page. We will then be presented with the program download option at the top and the catalog download options just beneath it. To start the download for the program, we need to click on the program version title and then click on the file name. To start the download for the catalog, we need to click on the catalog update title and then click on the download button associated with the catalog we want. And that's it. If you need help, you can always reach out to our support team. That being said, let's move on to our next point. how to contact support chat. So we're happy to announce that in our newest version of the program, 12.4, there's going to be a live chat button in the Help tab. We're going to be available to help our users Monday to Friday, 24 hours a day. This is very exciting because we know our designers are slammed and are working endless hours. So how do we get this feature? Where can we see it? So in the program here, we can head up to our Help tab, and live chat is going to be right here. Give that a click, and an agent will be on the other side ready to assist you. Now, what do we do while we're waiting for this version to come out? Well, we can head over to 2020 homepage, and it's going to open up. Oh, it opened up on this side. All right. Perfect. So we can click on Support and Training. And then all we need to do is fill out these drop-downs. So select an option. I'll click on Design Live, pick your region, USA, and here is everything you'll need. So you can click here to start a live chat, click here to create a case online, click on this to email support, or you can give us a call at this number. Perfect. All right. All right, the Knowledge Center. This brings me to my last slide. Everything we've covered today is offered to you in video and article format over on our Knowledge Center. All we have to do is type in what we would like to know more about, and the Knowledge Center will provide you with articles and videos on that subject. The Knowledge Center can also be accessed right through the program. So I'll go ahead and show you how we can do that. If we head up to our Help tab, Knowledge Center, it's just right there beneath it. So if I give that a click, here it opens up right away. So here, what would I like to know more about? How to show a fireplace in a wall. So I'll search for that, and the very first article tells me just that. So I'll click on it. Perfect. And it gives us exactly that. The very first thing you see is a video tutorial that can show you exactly step-by-step how you can achieve this. And if you don't feel like watching a video, you can follow along the article with pictures that show you step-by-step on how you can achieve just that. The Knowledge Center is by far one of the best forms of support that you can get. If ever you're having any trouble at all, I recommend checking this out first because it gives you exactly what you need. Perfect. And so let's go right back. And that's it for my presentation. I hope everyone has a great day, and if you ever have any questions in the future, please, you can reach out to us by phone, chat, or email. Thank you.